everyone, and welcome to another episode of Optimal Life Balance with Coach Vicki. I'm Coach Vicki, where you take charge of your life and have fun both in personal and in business. We've been talking about how to start that new career, or that's starting out that new side gig, or what you are looking to do is starting a whole new business. When we're talking about that, there's things that happen is, have you started anything with it? And what happens is we have things what's called blockers. And there are 7 different main blockers, but today we're only going to kind of concentrate on 1 or 2 of them. And a blocker is something that gets in your way of achieving what you want to do. Today we're going to talk about laziness. And people think laziness means that you're just lazy, that you're sitting on a couch eating bonbons all day. That's not laziness. Well, it is lazy, but it's not laziness in what we're discussing today. Because laziness is usually an underlying for another reason when that blocker comes up. Sometimes it's lack of energy, that you just don't physically have the energy or the motivation to do something. And that's something like today when I was doing this tape, took one of my ULA shots that we have. It's an energy and a clarity shot that we have now to help focus in on what I want to do. Sometimes laziness can be also just not having, because you don't have that accountability partner in you, you feel you can get away with not doing something, so you become lazy with it because there's no one holding you accountable for it. But lazy also can be a reason because you're fearful of something. If you're fear of success or your fear of failure, you kind of just sometimes feel overwhelmed and you just don't do nothing. So the state of being lazy. But it's really an underlying for being fearful of it. And that is one of our other main blockers. And fear comes in so many different ways. For it. As a child, you only have 2 fears: fear of loud noise and fear of falling. All the other fears that we get in our lives are fears that we put onto ourselves. As adults, as we're growing up, things that we've been believing, limited belief, things that will come into our life and we thought this is the way it was, as well as just fears that we put in our own. So when we're talking about laziness and fear, which are the 2 blockers we're going to kind of go into a little bit because they work together on it, is that to become unlazy or not to use it as a reason for something is you have to have the clarity. You have to have the focus of what you want and that why behind it. Once you have that, you'd be surprised how much further you will go. But if you're feeling that overwhelmed and not even sure where to start, that's the problem we're having, where then you just sit back and don't do anything. As we kind of discussed a little bit earlier in some earlier shows, and if you haven't gotten to see it, please go back and watch them, is we were talking about how you learned and how to take what you want and how to start setting some action steps up and how to set goals. But all of those little intricate steps that we've been talking about is what will help you from stop feeling overwhelmed and stop that option of laziness or fear to seep in. And when it does seep in, you have the tools to kick it right back out. And usually the tool that we use on that is the opposite of a blocker is an accelerator. And the accelerator that you could use for it is, there's a few of the different ones. I would say probably integrity, that if you keep in your word to yourself that you want to do something, integrity, we always think of keeping our words to everybody else, but integrity is also keeping the word to yourself. So if we go back to that, we're saying that we want to start a new career, we want to start a new business. On that is putting that word out to yourself and then keeping that word to yourself. But by doing that, you still have to have that accountability partner in there, and that's what a coach comes in for, or even a good friend or somebody you trust. Though sometimes it's hard to have a family or personal be your accountability partner because they know who you are and they judge. When you have a coach or a mentor, they're there on your behalf. They're there to guide you and help you and not judge you for it. So when you doing all of this, you want to ensure you have fun doing it. So when you don't feel the pressure of performing for somebody, and you just feel you feel the joy of doing the journey. That is what we're looking for. So there's 5 ways to kind of pass through laziness and going through it on that, and keeping having fun throughout the rest of this, the time, the summer, but through your journey, through what we're going to be working on. And that is to focus on one thing at a time. Work on whatever goal or whatever thing you want to work on. Remember, we were talking about before your action steps and doing those key ones that focus on your goals first. That doesn't have to be, remember what we're saying about your business. If that's not what your focus is on, and it's on family because it's the rest of the summer coming up, then let's work on that. Let's work on having fun. Let's work on one day at a time, planning some different fun activities. And remember, fun doesn't always have to be expensive activities. It could be just going to the beach, hanging out at the park, or going to the pool type of an idea, or even game night with the family and ordering pizza or making pizzas. Whatever finds what's interested to you and your family, or for yourself, going for a girls' night out, whatever it may be. But it's making those goals and those steps of action, taking those small little steps like we were talking before. So when you think of a blocker, you think of something that stands in your way. When you, half of the times you don't even realize it's a blocker or it's in your way. It's just because it's a habit. It is not a good habit, but it's just a habit that's been there till you learn to break that habit. So remember, we were talking about, if you not start realizing a lot of the things we've been talking about so far, even though it's been only a few episodes, they all intertwine with each other, and they will continually intertwine with each other because it's learning a new lifestyle, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting. So when you are building a new habit into the same thing of breaking through a blocker, you have to do it in small good thing else. And most of it with blockers is a mindset. So when that thought of, I'm not good enough to do this, or the laziness comes in, that, you just feel like sitting there and eating bonbons all day, you need to take that integrity to yourself, that you told yourself that I am worth doing this journey. I am worth trying this new adventure. I am worth building this business. What can I do today? What small action step can I do to move it forward instead of sitting here doing nothing? What fear could I knock out of the way and move forward with the word that I said I was going to do something and do it? And sometimes it's, like I said, it's easier said than done, but it's consistency of doing it. So every time that blocker comes in, or that laziness or that fear or that self-doubt comes in, you just say, stop, think, okay, is this really what I want? Most of the times it's not. You say, okay, what do I want? How can I change what is going on and stop this and start going down the path that I want to? How can I break down those fences that have been holding me back and start pursuing what I want to do? It's being also creative in that. And remember, when that goes back to where the ways you learn. If you are a visual person, you could see behind me, I've made some boards and stuff of some courses I'm doing, and doing a posting notes and visualing out instead of just all in the computer, so that I can see my thoughts going through. So you want to have those kind of things. So maybe get a big calendar and start planning out some fun things and asking the family, what else would you want to do for fun for it here? That if that's one of your goals, like I said, if it's business, start planning out some different things that you want to start doing for your business and start just doing. It is just as simple as taking the small different action steps. And all those big projects, I've got a few projects that are like a big project that has tons of little steps to it. I've got to start now myself breaking them down to smaller action steps that I can check off my to-do list, so that I feel like I'm completing something and moving forward. So we want to just kind of realize that we don't always have to take those leap steps, but just as long as we keep taking the steps like we've talked before. But I want you to start really thinking, What am I wanting to do? What are my goals? What area of my life do I really want to start changing? What area needs the attention? I've got some other things coming up that I would love to have you involved. You can also get my free, I got some free downloads and stuff of different questionnaires you can ask. So please just reach out to me and I will be glad to send you the links to them. But just go visit, not visit my Facebook page or go visit my website. That's all should be on my site on Everyday Women TV. Like I said, if not, find me on Facebook. But we really want to start taking those actions of things that we've been learning and do. When we start doing the actual steps and start having those few little wins behind us, that is when we start building that confidence to continue to go because we like it. When we start to lose weight and we see 1-2 pounds go off, or another pound go off, or we start feeling a little bit more energy or whatever it may be, it's motivating to keep going on there. And that's the same thing as when you start checking off on that checklist of things that you're doing for your business, and you start getting somebody liking a post, or you get somebody to comment on a post, or connect with you that they want to discuss some more stuff for you. Just those 1 or 2 little wins is all it needs to take you from being lazy and fearful into stepping into, I can do this. I am an entrepreneur. I am setting those goals. I'm going to get healthy, whatever it may be. So in today's episode, like I said, I just want you to kind of realize that you can have fun during this journey. It doesn't have to be all work, but you need to still take action on it. So let's decide, what are we going to do? What are the top goals that we want to do? Is it in our fitness, in our finance, in our family, in our field, which is our career, faith, friends, or fun? Which area in your life needs your attention right now? Then let's take the tools that we've been learning so far and just apply them to it. If you need additional assistance, I told you, as anything, please let me know that you watched the episode and contact me, and you can have a free coaching session. And I'd love to work with you and just kind of help answer some questions and see if we've got a program that would work together. The worst thing we could do is nothing. The best thing you could do is you could find out something that works and start changing your life and living the way you want to live. Start pursuing those dreams, start pursuing your future, and leaving a legacy. That is my biggest journey in this whole thing, is to leave a legacy at the end. And not a financial legacy, which would be nice, but a legacy that I've meant something. My time here on earth was worth something. It gave back to people. It wasn't just about me. It was about how I can use what I've gone through and helping others. So every person wants that in their life. They want to be able to leave something for their family or for the bigger good. So what is it that you want? What is it that you want to start doing? Remember, we told you, we've been talking about career and field, but it doesn't have to be just that. So I just want to say thank you very much for stopping in for another episode. We will continue on different blockers and journeys that we have to do, and accelerators and goal settings and tools and stuff like that. Just different things each episode, just what I feel is resonating right now. And I think that will help you take the next step. And if you realize, if you haven't seen, like I was saying before, the other episodes, please watch them, because they're kind of starting to build on each other a little bit for it. And I'm hoping to continue that way. It's going to be some repetitive, just as a reminder, but then it's continue, hopefully adding something a little bit new to each one of the episodes to help get you on starting your journey. And I would love to be your coach and continue your journey with you on a more one-on-one basis. But otherwise, I want to say thank you. Have a blessed and fun day. And we will see you next time here on Optimal Life with Coach Vicki, taking charge of your life and having fun along the way, both personally and business.